And now, for the fun part. I'm going to hand over to Estia Clear for the table topics. For our guests, I'm going to give you one more chance to back out if you want to. Going once, going twice. All right, fantastic. I now yield control to the table topics.
Good evening, everyone. So our theme is upwards and onwards. Paul. Is it Paul? Paul?
Correct, yeah.
Paul. If we say that failure is part of growth, how do you think we should respond to setbacks? Just a quick minute or two, please. Can you come to the front?
Is the podium over here?
As you wish, as you wish.
So, what should I say? The secret to failure is that when it comes to an experience, what is failure really, right? What is the setback that comes from something like that? The reality is that often when you experience failure, there's an embedded learning that you can have inside that, right? So you have this ability to learn something that no one can take away from you. No one can take that away from you at any point in time, that learning, that insight that you gain from failure. What they can do is let you have a setback. But the ultimate setback is the failure to try. If you don't try, you're never going to go anywhere. You're never going to accomplish anything. And so when it comes to failure, the reality is there's always learning. Failure is an illusion. Failure is a construct that we created to hold us back. It's our fear expressing ourselves to hold us back from what we can truly experience. And just as a butterfly, as a caterpillar goes into its cocoon, if you take that butterfly and you start to take away that struggle because you don't want it to fail, and you make it easy for that butterfly to come out of its cocoon, what actually happens is you weaken it. And when that butterfly comes out of its cocoon from its metamorphosis, it will actually experience this weakness that it can't actually go out and fly. And so by making things easier, by making things comfortable, that's where the true value lies. Thank you.
Appropriate in the bus. Cameron shot man.
You said it was bad. Thank you so much for that.
That's fine.
Judy, you're not that inexperienced, but can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you think, also related to our theme, is personal growth more about ambition, or is it more about persistence? What do you think? Personal growth more about ambition or persistence?
So personal growth about
Ambition?
ambition or persistence?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. So what is ambition? Let's have a look at that. Is it your ability or want or need to climb up that corporate ladder or to reach the top, or in your business to progress as far as possible? Is it the good marks you might get in school or at university? What is ambition? Is ambition us proving that we're good enough? That somewhere along the line we have to meet somebody else's expectations? Or somebody else's, or what we think is somebody else's expectation of us? And then persistence, what is that? Persistence is the ability to go back and do it again and again and again, despite the fact that you might fail along the way. It's like coming to Toastmasters and putting yourself up front here, having a look, having a feel of what it feels like when you come here and you do your first speech, and your knees might be shaking a bit or your hands might be shaking a bit, and you really cling to those notes. But you come again and again and again. And what happens? With persistence, you build. There's a metamorphosis, please note, that takes place with persistence. So what are they? Without ambition, I don't believe you'd have persistence. You need the one, and then you need the drive behind it that makes it happen. Thank you.
Well done. Thanks, Judy. Thank you so much for our guests for using the word of the day version.
What's the word of the day?
That was pretty nice.
But I also have a countdown.
Nice.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm going to try.
Yes.
You just need to make it to the green light.
Yeah.
That's all.
William, you're a final year student at UP.
Yes, sir.
What inspired you in the past to keep up with your studies, to stay motivated, those test weeks, exams, to stay motivated and to push through those difficult times? Just repeat it again. What inspired you to push through during difficult times?
I think I'm going to start with sort of like a motivational talk. That's what I'm going to go for. Obviously, you can see I'm quite nervous. I would say the biggest thing that motivated me in my life, especially in difficult moments, was my mom. I grew up in a household where my father left at quite a young age. And in everything that I did, especially in school, I tried to do it for my mom. Because despite her challenges, her economic challenges, despite the fact that we were in a single parent household, she always went out of her way to do her absolute best for me. And that really meant a lot to me. She always tried to give me the best things. If it was swimming, she would be at the best club. If it was homework, she'd try and get me to the best tutors. And I was faced with a lot of difficult moments, especially towards the beginning of matric. I developed a sort of illness in my stomach where I couldn't eat for a while, and I lost a lot of weight. And I was very tempted to not put my best efforts into my matric year. I was very tempted to fall back into a kind of victim mentality. But when I thought of my mom and I thought of all the sacrifices she'd made for me, that gave me a sort of internal drive. And I almost want to say I metamorphosized from victim mentality into I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it for mom because of what she's done for me. And I think that in many things in life, pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, like I'm trying to do now in front of you, and just reaching for something is often worthwhile. And going back to the topic of ambition, I think persistence is important, but when you're reaching for something bigger in life, I think most of the time it makes sense when you're doing it for the people that matter the most in your life, especially the people you love, like your mom. Thank you.
you can do one.
Yeah, okay, now you know I'm going to pick on you. Are you okay? Will you tell us about a situation where you were mentored or helped by someone else to achieve something, to achieve maybe bigger heights or pull through in your studies? Anyone who mentored you or who helped you, maybe someone at university, maybe someone also in your home or at your house, any situation like that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I can very confidently say that in my very young 21 years of life, I've already had a metamorphosis. I come from a very small town. Not a lot of people lived there, and quite frankly speaking, not a lot of people had ambition. They didn't know what they wanted to do with life, and a lot of them found themselves stagnant, staying in the same place, same people, not really moving on from this quaint little corner of the world that we had come to know. Until one day, my Auntie Martha got a job as a domestic worker. This isn't a particularly glamorous occupation, but as it turns out, this became the turning point of my life. The family she worked for, the Nicholses, were a very lovely group of people who took me in almost as their own. They helped me in school and with my homework, encouraged me to join extracurricular activities, and really just taught me everything that I know about engaging with people outside of the group of people that I grew up with and the community that I was a part of. They helped me in university to actually get my job. I didn't have a lot of opportunities, and through a lot of coaching and personal one-on-one interactions with Mr. Nichols, I was able to learn how to own a room and talk, even when I was really nervous too. Public speaking wasn't always something that came naturally to me. And that helped me get the job that I currently have, because I went into my interview and I was like, this is me, I want this gig, give it to me. And they did. And so yeah, those were the people who mentored me and really changed my life. Thank you.
Special word of thanks to our guests. Wow, they were amazing tonight. Thank you so much. And especially to our two young speakers. Can we give them a hand?